Hey everybody, I'm Chef Tom with atbbq.com, and this is Korean fried chicken. Well, there's a new KFC on the block, and while it is extra crispy, there are no secrets about what spices are involved because we're giving you the full recipe. This is Korean fried chicken. Let's get into it. And today we're going to be cooking over the Bayou Classic turkey fryer, but instead of frying a turkey, we're going to put a Dutch oven in here and a gallon of vegetable oil. So we're gonna fire this up and bring it up to about 300 degrees. There's a few things that make Korean fried chicken kind of unique and special. We're gonna walk through some of those while that oil's coming up to temperature. Now, first of all, we're cooking chicken wings. Fatty, delicious, lots of skin, lots of great crispiness, lots of great texture. We're gonna be frying them twice. So the first fry is at a low temperature, the second fry is at a high temperature. This is gonna give you ultra crispy chicken wings. And the last thing is the sauce, which we're gonna put together separately, and those wings will be tossed in the sauce after they come out of the fryer. Now, I got these started early for the sake of shooting this video today, but basically all we've done to our 3 pounds of chicken wings is we put a little bit of ginger on there, some fresh ginger that's been broken down in a microplane, as well as some of our Cattleman's Grill Lone Star brisket rub, which is simply salt, pepper, garlic, and celery seed. And then I've let these soak overnight to try and get those flavors kind of worked into the meat. However much time you have to do this, give it a couple hours if you can. If not, do it right before. You'll still get some of that flavor worked into the chicken. Now, once you've got your wings seasoned up, you're ready to do the dredge. So we're taking 1 cup of cornstarch, adding to that a tablespoon of baking powder. Wings going into the dredge now. We give them a good toss to coat all of these completely. And then they can just kind of hang out in here until you're ready to fry. Most of the flavor from this recipe is gonna come from that sauce, but we've given these a nice base coat of flavor with that ginger and brisket rub. Now, while that dredge and the chicken are getting friendly with one another, we're gonna do just a little bit of knife work for our sauce. We're starting with some garlic. We need to mince up about 2 tablespoons. So we're gonna break this down pretty fine, but we don't need it like smooth, like paste, like we would do on a microplane. We want there to be a little bit of texture, a little bit of chunkiness to it. All right, that is looking good. Only other little bit of knife work we're gonna do here is we're gonna chop up some kimchi to add to the sauce. We want about 1/4 cup, and I want it minced down super fine so it just blends into the sauce. You're gonna get all of that wonderful funkiness incorporated into the sauce. Now, the dredged wings are gonna go right into a fry basket that we're gonna drop into our Dutch oven. It's had a little bit of time for this dredge to attach, kind of tack up on the outside of the chicken. You really don't have to worry about overcrowding this too much. We are gonna get oil around all sides. We'll just do a little bit of agitating while it's frying to make sure that we get it fried and crunchy on all surfaces. The oil's just over 300 degrees now. It's going to drop down a little bit when we put this cold chicken in here. So you wanna be really careful when you're lowering this in. You're gonna go slow, you're gonna watch the bubbles. This first fry is not quite as dramatic as the second fry, which is at a higher temperature, but you still wanna be really careful because we're working this oil pretty high in this Dutch oven. Just wanna make sure that these are almost entirely submerged. If there's a little bit poking out the top, no big deal, because we will agitate these, like I said. Move them around just a little bit. Now, the goal here is we're gonna bring up the internal temperature of these chicken wings to fully cooked, basically, 165. It should take about 9 or 10 minutes. So during this first fry, we're gonna make the sauce that's gonna go on after the second fry. You certainly can do this on the stovetop, whatever you've got available. What we had available today was the Yoder. So we're gonna add about a tablespoon here of chili-infused oil to fry off our garlic. I want to see this brown just a little bit. Just a little bit. A splash more oil. Kind of eyeballing it here, but you can always find the exact measurements on the blog. Next, we're going to add our kimchi. Just get a little bit of color on that. And then from here, we can add everything else. So we're starting with 1/4 cup of gochujang. Then we're gonna add 1/4 cup of ketchup. In this case, we're using the Hoff's Smoking Ghost ketchup, so it's gonna add a little extra spice. And you can use regular ketchup if you'd like to. Or, you can really be somebody and up your game with some Smoking Ghost ketchup. Got about 2 tablespoons here of tamari soy sauce. We're gonna add some extra sweetness in the form of our maple turbinado smoked sugar, about 2 tablespoons of that as well. 1 tablespoon of wildflower honey, and add some tanginess with a tablespoon of rice vinegar. So we'll kind of get this all worked together. Let it start bubbling away and thicken up just a little bit. So you can kind of see how it's thickened up now, that viscosity where if you draw a spoon through it, you can see the bottom and it fills in slowly. So that's what we want. We're gonna keep this warm though by just leaving it on top of the grill. So the 10-minute timer just went off. These are all sitting above 165, some of them even closer to 200, which is fine. Right now I'm getting a 190 reading. These are fully cooked now, but obviously they're not super crispy yet, which is why we're taking this oil and we're cranking it up to 375 degrees, currently sitting a little below 300. So these are just gonna rest here above the hot oil while the oil comes up to temp for the second fry. Now this oil's up to about 400 now, but it's gonna come down to about 375, 350 as we get these wings dropped in here. And then it'll pop back up a little bit over the next few minutes while we're frying. Again, we're going super slow into the oil to make sure that we don't overflow this. All right, so that is settled. It's only gonna take a couple of minutes here to get the color that we're looking for and the extra crispiness on the outside. So after a few minutes, you got that beautiful golden brown, nice and crispy. These are done and ready to be sauced. So now we're just gonna smother this in the sauce, give it a toss, and make sure they get fully coated. At first, it's not gonna look like it's enough to coat everything, but once you give it a good mix, it will be. So now you see why the double fry is so crucial on these wings, because they're soaked up in that sauce. So we wanna make sure we still have some crunch, even though they're coated in this sauce now. Finish these off with just a little bit of green onion, some sesame seeds, and we're ready to dig in. Let's get a bite. Oh my gosh. So much flavor in that sauce. It's sweet, it's salty, it's got the funkiness from the kimchi. It's kind of an undertone, but it's there. Just the right amount of heat for me. I'd call it medium heat, but if you're looking for ways to tone down the heat level, you can switch out that ketchup for regular ketchup. You can use regular oil instead of chili oil. The gochujang itself isn't gonna blow out your palate. These things are so incredibly tasty. You guys need to head to the store and grab some ingredients while I polish off the rest of this plate. Well, thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to check out atbbq.com for all the products featured in today's video. If you enjoy the recipe, hit that subscribe button. And if you have any questions or comments or there's anything you'd like to see me cook, let me know in the comment section down below, and let's be good to one another. For more recipes, tips, and techniques, head over to atbbq.com/thesauce. All things barbecue, where barbecue legends are made.